2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
Hello, my name is Bill Haley, and this is for Haley 2024 The Movement's Government Reform Ideas. This video is the first video in about a year. I've really updated my reforms, government reform ideas. This one's going to be on the U.S. Constitutional Proposed Amendment to create the Haley 2024 reforms. So this one's going to be about a 5 to 7 minute video. I'm going to have other ones out there, 15 to 20 minutes. Another one, half an hour to 40 minutes or so. Then one a little bit over an hour. Those are going to be overview videos. Then my intention is to make about 30 to 40 different videos dealing with different aspects of the U.S. Constitution Proposed Amendment. So let's go over it. This is just an overview, a quick overview. So we're going to go through it rapidly. This is a preamble. We'll get into this a little bit more on the other videos. We're going to quickly go through all these slides. We got a slide on each one of these. So we have 15 different sections of the Constitution. The citizenship, how we deal with citizenship, very important. And by the way, this is a federal, state, and local constitution. So it replaces federal and state constitution and actually creates a local constitution. The general laws within the Constitution, bylaws dealing with judicial, executive, and legislative branches and different things. Bylaws. Federal, state, and local, who has what powers. Original authority is going to really teach where we have the authority to do the Constitution in the first place and where the power lies. At the federal level, state level, local level, in the person. So it really teaches a lot there. Supermajority, for most monopoly government action, will take a 70% supermajority to do that. So it really shrinks down the size of government. So you need a 70% for a supermajority, and 40% can repeal monopoly government regulations. So you see how that's going to really reduce down government's control. So we're going to talk about the parent sector board. We'll get into that on the longer videos. The sector board, that's going to be each sector. We'll go over the 30 sectors in a little bit. Competitive regulatory agencies, this is the base of all of our reforms. Competitive regulatory agencies are going to regulate, govern, and represent. Send representation and vote. So it's significant right there. That's the base of all the reforms. CRAs only governs its members, so everybody has to pick a CRA per sector. We'll go over the 30 sectors in a minute. But CRAs only govern their members. So I get governed by the governing agency I want. My neighbor gets governed by the governing agency they want. We have about a dozen choices per locality, per state, for the federal government. We'll go over all that. The rating system is going to create a high quality information from a large variety of perspectives, and it's going to create a system where we don't need as much regulation and especially not so much monopoly regulation, because we got high quality information and we use rating floors. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about taxation and fees. We'll talk about how we deal with the debt. The transition from government ownership to free enterprise, because we go almost free enterprise to everything. We have a better oversight, better representation, and a lot better societal oversight than we currently have right now. The purpose of the rating system, what rating floors are. We're going to talk about pockets of freedom, which is immigration and foreign policy reforms. States' partial acceptance, we'll get into that. Not time right now to get into that one. The separation of all responsibilities and authorities into 30 sectors. We have 5 going into the charity system because we get rid of government welfare altogether. We'll discuss that in many different videos. The 5 in the foreign protection system. Again, each one of these has top level people vote, representative oversight. So every one of these will have, there's nobody over top of more than one sector at a time. So we'll get into that. So each one of these have separate sectors. Each one of these will have a separate president, if you will. Separate governor, separate mayor. So violent crime is different than law enforcement. Different from the court system, different from the prisons. And then the oversight, the authorization board there. We got healthcare, two in healthcare, two in financial, insurance, food, education, manufacturing, human resources, and sales. Identity is huge. Environmental, work safety, transportation, media, and communication. So it's really important that you have to understand that within each CRA, they vote for the leadership of the CRA and the representations. We're going to talk about the current Constitution. I love the current Constitution, but we're just not abiding by it. And quite frankly, this one's better. We'll talk about statism, teenagers. We'll talk about structural in nature. The whole Constitution is structural in nature. We'll talk about the transition, my general thoughts about the whole thing. We'll talk about rural representation, how this creates much better representation, where the authority lies, whether it's federal, state, or local, with the individual, within businesses. Where does the authority lie? The political plan to pass this amendment. We'll talk about these are the 30 sectors, and if you don't see it here, it will fall under one of them. This is a good slide to show you that there's 12 or so competitive regulatory agencies that everybody gets to pick, local, state, and federal. Same thing on the rating system side, you get to pick. They'll send representation, they'll govern. There's a lot to it. Anyway, everything's really easy to find on Haley2024.org. Please consider a donation, and until the next video.